Guys, it's tapping day 3, so I thought we'd get straight into it. And today we're going to do a tapping about not feeling good enough. Because when we don't feel good enough, it stops us from raising our vibrations and feeling really good as we are meant to. So let's start on the karate chop point. Even though I may have feelings that I am not good enough, I love, appreciate, and accept myself. Even though I may feel that I just don't meet the bar, I love, appreciate, and accept myself. Even though sometimes I just don't feel good enough. I just don't feel I can do that thing. I just don't think I'm good enough to achieve that thing. I love, appreciate, accept, and forgive myself and anybody else who may be involved. So taking full responsibility for our health and well-being, our own health and well-being, let's start tapping at the top of the head. Sometimes I just don't feel good enough. Back of the neck. I really just don't think that I can do that thing. Top of the head. I don't think I'm good enough to be able to do that thing. Top of the eye. I don't feel good enough. Side of the eye. I don't feel good enough to succeed. Under the eye. I don't feel good enough to be successful. Under the nose. I just don't feel good enough. In the chin. Collarbone. Am I ever going to be good enough to achieve that? Under the arm. Am I ever going to be good enough? Am I ever going to be good enough? Side of the thumb, tapping along. It just really brings me down. I want to succeed, but I just don't think I'm capable of it. I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think what I do is good enough. I don't think what I say is good enough. I don't feel that I'm good enough in any way. Baby finger. And I just don't feel that I'm going to be able to succeed because I am not good enough. Side of the hands. I tell myself this all the time. In fact, I tell myself this every day. I'm just not good enough. Top of the head again. I think it's really holding me back. Although I still just don't think I'm good enough to achieve that thing that I want to achieve. I really want to achieve it. Back of the neck. But there's this little voice in my head saying, there's no way you're going to achieve that. You're not good enough. You're not good enough to do that. You're not good enough to succeed at that. Top of the head again. These thoughts are haunting me. I want to be good enough. I want to succeed. But how can I be good enough if I keep saying this to myself? How can I be good enough if I keep repeating this in my head? I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I will never achieve that. I'm never going to be financially free. I'm never going to have a career that I want. I'm never going to have a great relationship that I want. I'm never going to have enough. I'm never going to be okay with all of this. I'm not good enough. Is that what is keeping me back? Is that part of what is stopping me from moving forward, feeling good, and having a wonderful life? Maybe it is. Maybe I need to just look at it for a minute and think about it. Top of the head again. Let me just absorb it for a second. I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths. It seems like a bit of a problem. Me wanting to be good, me wanting to succeed, me wanting to do all these wonderful things and be enjoying my life, having fun, having a wonderful life. But then I keep telling myself that that's not possible for me because I am not good enough. I'm not good enough to deserve that. I am not worthy to feel good enough. No, I'm definitely not worthy to feel good enough. Wow. I just keep telling myself that over and over. But somehow it doesn't seem like it's helping. It just is making me feel worse. Maybe I need to look at it and try to think about maybe shifting some of that unworthiness, some of that undeservingness, some of that shitty feeling of feeling not good enough. Side of the thumb. Maybe I could start looking at the things that are making me feel not good enough. Next finger. Is it beliefs? Is it something that I formed as a judgment myself when I didn't succeed at something and I thought I was a failure? Next finger. Is it something that I took on from somebody else's judgment from me when they made a comment that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't good at that? And then that became my reality. Next finger. I can't think of how I can succeed if I keep believing and telling myself I'm not good enough. Baby finger. There may be underlying issues here. This may be something that I need to explore. Side of the hand. I know that if I find reason and clarity that this isn't serving me, maybe I can find a different way. Maybe I could start shifting this belief. Maybe that would help me. Maybe it would make me feel better. Maybe it would make me feel more confident if I started changing that self-talk, releasing any of those limiting beliefs and patterns, habitual patterns of telling myself I'm not good enough. Maybe I could turn this around. Maybe I could start feeling a little bit good enough. Well, you know what? Today, I'm going to open the door. I'm imagining myself reaching down, holding onto the doorknob, twisting the doorknob, and opening the door to beginning to shift this belief that I am not good enough. It may not be overnight. It may not even be in a week. But if I keep working on it and releasing the resistance, I may be able to feel good enough and therefore attract success into my life, whatever success looks like for me. I'm just going to start believing that maybe this is possible. Maybe this is possible for me. Under the arm. I really am feeling that thinking over and over that I'm not good enough is just not working for me. It's not supporting me. And it's just not going to get me to where I want to go. And where I want to go is to feel good. I'm thinking, next finger, I'm thinking about releasing the thoughts that are keeping me back, that I'm not good enough. I'm turning that doorknob. I'm opening the door to start exploring what it would take to make me feel good enough. I'd like to release any blockages I have to me feeling good enough. And I'm willing to do the work because I am important, I matter. And feeling good is a non-negotiable need for me. Baby finger. This is really important to me. I would like to have the rest of my life feeling wonderful, living in a happy space and feeling good about myself. I'm thinking and feeling that I would like to release any resistance I have about feeling good. One more final round, guys. Top of the head. It may not be the big solution that I need, a 10-minute tap on feeling good. But it certainly could be the start to opening that door, to exploring what's holding me back and working on it so that I can get to the point where I am feeling good about myself and setting myself up for success. This makes a lot of sense to me. I think I'd rather be supporting to myself than bringing myself down. Side of the eye. I am willing to start looking at why I don't feel good enough. I'm willing to open the door, and I'm willing to look at releasing all that resistance that's holding me back. It might be a big journey, or it might be a quick one, depending on how many layers I've got there that I need to process and release. But I'm willing to take this journey. I am willing to do this for myself. In fact, I'm feeling better already just by realizing this. I'm clearing resistance to working this out and becoming what I want to be and feeling what I want to feel. And that is peace and happiness in my life and lots of joy. Under the arm. It may seem overwhelming, but I'm willing to gather the strength and have the courage to give it a go because I matter. Side of the thumb. I really want to do this for myself. Next finger. I know it will help others too, the ones that I love that are around me. They're going to feel so much better when I feel better about myself. And I'll be radiating more energy, beautiful energy, that others will be able to absorb and help themselves. Next finger. We're all connected. Next finger. This seems like a worthwhile journey, and I'm ready to open the door and feel confident about helping myself. Baby finger. Feeling really good about this. Side of the hand. This is wonderful. This is truly wonderful. I'm starting to think about making my life better instead of sitting in the discomfort. I'm feeling that by opening the door and working on my resistance, I have a chance to feel good. Release that feeling of not feeling good enough. Feel great about myself. Feel wonderful enough, more than enough. I'm willing to start that journey. And I just started it right then. Hands down. Breathing in a beautiful deep breath. And as you breathe in deeply and absorb the tapping we just did, just focus in on how you're feeling. And maybe during the day, you could check in hourly, twice a day, even once a day, at how you are actually feeling. What are you actually saying to yourself? Is it holding you back, or is it supporting you to raise your vibrations and feel good? I hope this has given you some food for thought, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Until next time, keep tapping, as Cynthia would say.